Nigeria. South Africa. Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria? The Nigeria we want. With Vicky O Saje. Yeah, me show the moon. Wale Olaito. I've been see what shuku. The Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria? On Vicky O Show every Saturday. The Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria? South Africa. The Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria?
Hello everybody. This is Vicky O Saje. Welcome to the Nigeria We Want on Vicky O Show. Wherever you are today, it's a beautiful day here in Melbourne. It's been sunny, it's been lovely. And yes, I've actually gone to Nigeria. I'm wearing the attire. It's beautiful Ankara mixed with the white lace. And then we call this apple ileke. So, and I believe Wale is also doing the same thing today. So I'll bring Wale onto the screen shortly. But before I do, there are a couple of businesses supporting us, making this possible. And I would like to give a shout out to them. The first one is Provision GSH Plus, which is all about your health. It's a dietary supplement that works on cellular level. So just check them out. How is your energy? Do you struggle with having restful sleep? How is your immune system? Do you struggle with stress, concentration, and mental fatigue? GSH Plus is your answer. It's the answer that you need, because the ingredients contained in GSH Plus formula may support your immune system, optimize your strength and energy, and it can empower your daily living. Provision GSH Plus can be ordered through the link we've provided. If you're interested in GSH Plus Provision, how about you send us an email, vickyoshow@gmail.com. And the second business is Capstone Medical Center, Bensdale. They're all about your health, your physical health. Group of medical doctors coming together, providing essential health services to people within their locality. Just check them out. 515-27135, Capstone Medical Center, Bensdale. Thank you for sponsoring us. It's time to bring our panelist, Wale Olaito. Welcome to the Nigeria We Want show. How are you today?
Thank you very much, my dear sister, Dr. Vicky. It's good to be back for
Always good
our
to be
show,
back. Yeah.
our Saturday night, therapy. So
Yes.
it's good to be back, and
You can say
I
that
I
again.
can see your introduction. You are really there level.
Oh, well,
So
I'm there for today. Honest, I rush back for the show, and after the show, I'm going back. My mom is waiting for me with all
uh,
the goodie, all made by
wow,
Adonai.
wow,
Adonai should come and sponsor us. All made
yeah.
by Adonai. So I'm still going back. They are warming mine up for me. So
Okay, so
mm,
we have to be quick and go
no,
straight to
no,
the
no, no,
points,
no,
and
no,
then
no, no, no. We do what we have to do, and then I'll
yeah.
go back. Yes.
I was at
Welcome.
the the virtual Yoruba Day event,
Everybody. All right.
this evening. That was from 5 to 8 around
Okay.
that time, or the yeah, 5 to 8. So just
Mm,
a celebration of our cultural heritage.
yeah.
That was so. That is where I was dressed
I,
for that
yeah.
program, even though it was virtual event. And
Of
I
course.
said, look, there's no point, trying to get this off. I've got to come live, to
Mm.
the show with my
With
uh
your Niger attire, of
with
course,
my
this
Nigeria attire.
Nigeria we want. So
Yes,
once in a while, we
exactly.
need to show, the background where where we actually come from, and we need to show in what we wear also. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
for me, a friend's dad passed a year ago, so they are doing the funeral party. Is it burial
Okay,
ceremony
we call it
today in
prayer
Nigeria.
ceremony. Yeah.
So we are at the place, here, just trying to, watch live what's happening in Nigeria, and also just to get together and be there to support him, because he's not able to attend live. So that was where I've been, and when we finish, I'm going back.
Okay, that's good. Before I came online, I had a quick discussion with Elvis. I think
Mm.
Elvis is on his way to the city. I think he's
Oh,
got something going on, later this evening. But he
okay.
promised to join. But he promised to
Yeah,
join
he's
us,
here
even just to.
already.
Talking
Yeah,
about Elvis, here he comes.
Mr. Elvis, we can't see you. Are
Uh-huh.
you in
He's actually on his
I'm in
driving.
transit, so
Abby?
Yeah.
I'm doing a month time today.
Have you?
Um
That's good.
yeah, I'm actually in transit. I was just speaking to with Wale a little while ago.
All
I've
right.
got an event that I've got to be at. I don't know how this is gonna work tonight because I'm actually driving. I don't know whether my voice will just suffice to participate in the program because
Yes, all right.
yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just switch on the video because you can't see anything anyway. But
Mm,
I'll be here for as long as I can until I get to my destination. If that's okay.
that's all.
Mm.
That's okay. Is Buku there with you?
No, 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 she's not.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mm.
No worries. Yeah, so we'll get started. Wale, let's just roll into it today, since we're actually doing the, um, you
Yeah,
know,
we're doing our extended,
mm,
version of what is trending.
yes.
So there are a few, trending news as we speak. Uh, we start with the first one, which is,
Is Wale talking? I can't hear you, Wale. Is this? Or is that
can
from
you
my?
hear me now?
No.
Hello, Elvis. Can you hear me now?
What's going on?
Yeah, I heard you clearly, and I'm still hearing you now. So
It's
whatever is
gone.
going on, it should be from your end. So we hope you
Yeah,
join
it's
us soon,
gone, so you will come back.
and hopefully Egbon Yemi will join us very soon. So in terms
Mm,
of what is trending, you know, um, earlier in the week, the Lagos government panel on NSAC's protest relates, the outcome, or they
mm,
released a report to the to Lagos State Governor, and obviously the report was leaked, to the media, and there's been a lot of discussions around that particular report,
mm,
for and against, depending on where you're getting your information from. But most importantly, UN, US, the human rights lawyer, Chief Femi Falana. They've all demanded accountability because the report actually confirmed what many people knew happened from day one in terms of the Nigerians, were killed at that
Mm,
protest, and that there were a lot of cover up by the police and by the military. So the
yes.
report actually confirmed what we
What
we
happened?
knew, and I'm
Mm,
sure that even on the show that we're having tonight, started on the basis of that event when Dr. Vicky just felt strongly about it at the time that she had to lend her voice so to the situation in Nigeria and to demand justice,
mm,
for the people that
their
lost
lives.
their lives, and also to others that were injured in that when military invaded a peaceful protest at Lekki Tollgate in October 20th, 2020. So that is a major trend in news and whatever, and it is not it is not a straight narrative. There have been counter narratives up and down. Even though when the report has been leaked, people are trying to still cover up. So that is a major trending news in Nigeria as we speak. On that topic, what have you got to add? What have you got to say, Dr. Vicky?
Um, See, I've been thinking a lot about this because there are people that I actually respect so much that are saying all were lies. And there are people that were for the fact that yes, it actually happened. But I kept on thinking, why is it that we're finding it so difficult to see the truth and stand by the truth? Why is it that lies is being made to be dressed up really well
Mhm.
and be presented to people? And my mind tends to go back to Donald Trump, who kind of made lies to be something that, you know he kind of presented it as his own truth all the time, and people just kind of, even if you know the truth, you start doubting what the truth is. I'm not blaming Donald Trump because we all have brains, right? And we can
Yeah,
all think and
absolutely.
we
Yeah.
can all read. But it's just like it's so common these days that even people, they don't do their own research. I mean, yes, like I said, I there are people that I actually respect so much because of their views and all that. But when I see their write-ups about EndSARS protest and the casualties and all that, I felt like, oh my goodness, I thought you can read. I thought you can see what is going on here. And it made me think that there are people that are lazy, there are people that just do follow, not because they're lazy, they just like some people so much that whatever they say is a gospel truth to them, which is why we have more and more polarization of information in our societies these days. you know um Now, with the findings and the all that kind of stuff, we know something happened. And it was, I mean, some people died. I mean, there were pictures, there were videos that were made immediately when all that happened. And that ended the protest. Something ended the protest. And it was the hard line that the police and the army took on the protesters. Protests that were on for like 2 3 weeks all of a sudden stopped because some people died. What happened? Where did they get the blood that was there and all that kind of stuff? Now, for some people to say nothing happened, it was all made up, it was all lies and all that kind of stuff, it's quite worrisome,
Yeah.
how you look at information and some people just turn it around, like you look at 6 on my side and you look at the
It,
same thing, it's
it says
9 to me.
9. Yeah.
And then you preach it to everyone that will listen that it's 9. People that follows you believe, yes, Wale had said it, I believe Wale, I trust Wale. I don't even need to go and look at it because Wale is an honest person, or Wale is a man of integrity. Whatever Wale says is the truth. And I'm looking at 6 and I'm saying, yes, this is 6, right? And people that follows me, people that knows me, they don't even go and check, and they just say, yes, Vicky had said it, it is 6. So it's just the world that we live in right now. It's not just in Nigeria. You look at what is happening here in Melbourne. You look at what is happening in the United States. The human race is in trouble. That's just
So,
my conclusion in all this.
oh, thank you very much. And I will come back to some of the points you raised, in that your contribution. I just want to be sure that Elvis is still with us. Elvis, are you there, brother?
I'm all ears. I'm here while I haven't gone anywhere.
You haven't gone anywhere. I will come back to you now. So in your point, Vicky, you raised a few points. You raised the concept we are all very familiar with, the concept of the fake news, and that fake news it was something that was actually it wasn't Donald Trump's creation, but Donald Trump actually expanded, a lot on that concept during his 4 years in office. And as you said, it is concerning for any democratic society
Mhm.
when we cannot differentiate the truth from lies.
Nice,
It is
yes.
very concerning because with truth, you'll be able to hold leaders, politicians accountable. If
Mhm.
all agree on, at least we all agree on something to be the truth. If you, for instance, if you all agree that there was um, government sent military to Lekki Gate, and
Mhm.
because of that action of the government, civilians, peaceful civilians that were
Mhm.
protested, were killed.
Mhm.
You know, if we all agree on that premise as a starting point, then we can all be able to hold the government or whoever sent the military
Exactly.
account
Responsible.
yes,
Accountable
accountable for what they've
for
done.
what
So
happened.
for what happened. So the danger of this polarization, as you said, is that it makes any form of accountability so difficult. And
Exactly.
it's very similar to what we call gaslighting in family violence setting. When you begin
Mm.
to make people even doubt their own sanity, people
Exactly.
begin to doubt their sanity in
Mhm.
terms of even the most confident person at a stage you are confused and you have to choose your words carefully
Carefully.
to
Mm.
know, am I really saying the truth, or is there something that happened that I wasn't even so completely sure of what happened? And that was what they've caused, the democracy. That is what they've done
Mm.
to the people with
Mm.
all this. And it's so sad. But I think what they can say, you can see they are spin doctors. They are out again. You are lawyer, senior advocate of Nigeria, what all those people. They're already out trying to create different narratives
Narrative.
around the
Mm.
report. I think they got something wrong, and I think when they assembled the committee, the Lagos State government, when they assembled the committee, they probably thought that they're gonna come out and probably pay play to their tunes. But at the end of the day, maybe at the very late they realize that they are people that are credible and they're going to report the truth,
Mm.
regardless of whether people are happy about it or not. But I
Mm.
think you've captured it essentially in terms of the danger of that to any democratic society, and that polarization of ideas that is so difficult. And some people, you can look at their Facebook posts, is purely around their allegiance to a political party
Exactly.
or just their allegiance to their whoever they get their
Because
next contract or their next
exactly.
whatever
Mm.
from, which is so sad.
Mm.
Mr. Elvis Nwashiku, what have you got to say to this NSAC's report and all the counter narratives, going on in the media, on social media.
Yeah, Wale. Yeah, it's interesting how that report, was leaked, and I think it so happened. I'm just
Are you there, Elvis? I think we've lost Elvis, maybe temporarily there. Talking about that same report, the defense chief of defense staff, he came out, a day or two after the report was released. He was talking about some procedural kind of thing about certain procedures not followed in the release of that paper. He was, saying that the Nigerian army, they are professional men and women, and that they are not linked to whatever happened at Lekki Gate. He believes that we should all wait for the white paper to be able to know exactly what happened. In the
I
meantime,
think Elvis is back. Oh, it's
okay.
gone. It's
So
gone.
and in the meantime, the opposition, the People Democratic Party, for the first time in a long time, they're sounding like a real opposition. They're saying that they demand prosecution of killers and collaborators. So they are really making demands for those responsible to be
And
prosecuted.
how loud are their voices? Well, are they saying it just for saying sake, or are they really getting up and saying no? We need more. We need names. We need persecutions of those that did this. The perpetrators. We need to see them, and we need to do something about this.
Yeah, they issued a statement and they demanded for prosecution of killers and collaborators. But I know that maybe they need to do more homework in terms of how to really be an opposition party, and that especially as an opposition party, you score a lot of political points when the party of the day is not doing the right thing. That is where an opposition party shines. You shine by picking on the holes in all some of their policies, in some of their most of the things that they get wrong. That is the power of opposition party. That is what you see when you see an opposition leader here speaks and is laughing. You can see he's got his man in a very, very tight corner. That
But
is,
looking at that, I mean, this is just by the way. With all that's been happening here, I'm just using the example here, with COVID, with forced vaccinations and all that. You see how Clive Palmer, his party, the guy, the
yeah,
yellow
yeah, I
guy.
know the billionaire, yeah.
Yeah, you see how they've been sending messages, and you see how much is spending on advertisement. What would be your thought around that? Because it's kind of using what the people have against the current government and all that people are struggling with. Is kind of using that to promote his own party. But for me, as soon as it comes on, I'm just like, can somebody just turn this off? You know, to me, it's just like it's something that you can see through. That it's all lies. You just want to win votes. If you have the opportunity to get there today, would you do anything differently?
You're absolutely right. It's just taking the advantage of, I guess, what is going on in the country. It's taking
Mm,
the advantage that some people are not happy with some of the government policy, and is targeting his message directly to them.
yeah,
But in terms of whether people would really fall for that and go en masse and vote for his party, I will see that many people will see through that kind of level of hypocrisy. In my
exactly.
opinion, I know that this is a man that, in his own businesses, in many cases, he has not been fair to some of his
So
workers.
people that were working for him.
Yeah,
Exactly.
in terms of we've seen some legal cases and litigations around. So people can see through that. But as a political party, is done what any political party would do, especially an opposition party. If government is having a bad policy that is not really so popular with the people, you take advantage of that to make your own case. Elvis, welcome back. Continue, brother.
Yeah, well, yeah. So on the other one or on this topic?
Yeah, the one you were talking before the technical interruption, the one
All right. Yeah.
around your thoughts around the panel reports.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was saying, look, it's interesting how that report got leaked. Typically, look, I was listening to Femi Falana earlier today on channels television, and I know he did mention, and that's the procedure when the government um, empanels a committee to investigate a particular issue.
Yep.
What happens is once they come up with their report, all they do is submit that report to the government that commissioned that panel, and then the government is going to study the outcome of their investigation or look at the report, and then come out with a white paper based on the recommendations they have or the findings of that report or the recommendations they have made thereof. In this instance, just sort of thinking, at the back of my head, is it the possibility that they also envisage a situation where their report will be swept under the carpet and then someone decided to leak it to the press? Because we have had lots of instances in the past also where, these panels were commissioned and then the outcome of, their inquiry was not made use of or was swept under the carpet. He cited the case of I think this was Abacha's regime where some judges were accused of being corrupt, and this panel was set up to, look into those allegations. They came up with the findings, and which indicted a lot of the judges in Nigeria at the time. What they did was they just swept it under the carpet, but was published when President Obasanjo came into the scene. So yeah, look, it's just that report is only telling us what some of us knew already. We knew people were killed during that protest. People were shot. But the claims that nobody lost their lives obviously was unfounded. Even on CNN, it was reported that people lost their lives. Lai Mohammed came on air and, of course, refuted that information, claiming no one lost their lives. It was, I think went as far as calling CNN fake news. So look, it's not going to be business as usual. It just tells you that there are also some credible people within that space, a lot of credible people who are avowed to doing the right thing. Always and when it matters most, and that's what I've seen in this instance. Perhaps if the government knew this would be the outcome, I'm not sure they would have had those particular individuals in that space to investigate this matter and bring it to fore. Yeah. So look, I'm quite elated this has happened. It's now left for the government what they do with that report. Are they going to implement the recommendations of that report, or is it going to be swept under the carpet? That is still left to be seen. Now, on the backdrop of that, on that report alone, I understand people have started, I know Femi Falana did mention some families, or one family has actually engaged their services to sue the government for the part they have played in their loved one being shot in that protest. Because however we look at it, government is complicit in what happened there, switching on that light at the toll gate and giving the instruction for the police, or even giving their blessings for the police to and the military to do what they had done. I know, yeah, I know, the state government would obviously not be happy with what happened, but at the end of the day, I think it's a good outcome. It's now left what, I mean, it could be the case where they're now, their hands will be forced to do the right thing. That is still left to be seen. But overall, um, these guys have done the right thing, and I really commend their efforts. So I'll
Mm.
leave it at that.
Oh, yeah, thanks so much, Elvis. You touched on a number of factors. You touched on people arguing that in terms of the procedure of waiting for the government to constitute a panel and release a kind of a white paper after that. But we know how the attitude of government towards governance. And that's why, as you said, people that leaked that document, they did it on purpose, at least to allow Nigerians to know a bit of,
The
to have a bit
truth.
of insight in terms of the quantity, the content of that report, rather than waiting for a white paper that might never come, or probably by the time they come up with their white paper, they are telling a different story. So compared to the truth that really came out of that report, and again, I salute the courage of that panel for doing what is
The
good
right
for the
thing.
country and doing the right thing. And obviously, as you said, there will be civil actions apart from whatever criminal actions that might come out of it. But people that have lost their family and loved ones, apart from whatever kind of restitution that they get from the panel, they also um, have to, in a way, and you remember, my cousin Adaize,
Mm.
I've respected the family's views in recent months, because Ada is a young woman. She still has a long way to go. She's just 23. They want to keep some things about what really happened a bit silent. Um, but they went as far as, just for the record, they went as far as that panel. We got them a lawyer, and they went as far as, to the reasonable conclusion. It was agreed that something bad happened to other, and
Mm.
the family get compensated for
Okay. Yeah.
that. I will just leave it at that. But I will respect their privacy and how they want to handle it. But it was pursued till the end. The panel acknowledged whatever happened to other shouldn't have happened, and then they gave, they awarded some money, just for that, for our bills, and probably more than our bills, to take care of ourselves. That's something positive that happened to Adaise, from that panel.
Mm.
um yeah. So moving forward, we go to something more, fun. So I wish I could have friends like Davido.
Oh, me too. Me too.
So he
Thank
used,
God I have someone like Elvis. So
so he uses, star power to raise money for his 29th birthday. And I think
so
he
the
wrote,
money was for his 29th birthday.
yes, his
Hey.
29th birthday is just around the corner. But he actually said that he had a Rolls Royce, waiting to be cleared at the port, and he wanted his friends to, who does that? Well, anyway, I've got Rolls Royce at the port. You need to clear the Rolls Royce, and then, you friends, give him one. Let me go and clear my car. That was
Oh my
how the
God.
watching started.
Wale,
Uh,
please work harder now. Waiting. Ah,
and he said, he reached out to some of your friends. He said, if you know I've given you a hit song, send me money. You know you not safe. That is how the auction started. To some of his friends, that he has given them some hit songs that they know themselves. and just give me money. And within 24 hours, 160 million naira was raised.
Just like that.
Okay, so what are friends for? Dr.
Exactly.
Vicky.
Exactly. Thank God I've got great friends in Wale and Elvis. Deep,
Yeah,
deep.
so
Put your hand deeper in your pocket too. I'm
You just
having my 50 plus 1 in April. Oh. So dip your hand in
finally,
your pocket, yo.
you just have to
finally.
work. You just have to work hard, Mr. Elvis. You need to sell more
Uh,
property.
Wale
Start
Abi.
selling more properties.
Okay. No wahala. You mean even the one I live in, we can sell.
No, please,
I
no,
don't
please,
know, not that
don't
one.
get me in
Not that
trouble with
one.
Madame, please.
Oh, you reject that one, eh?
Yeah, no, I reject that one. Yeah, no,
Oh,
no.
oh my
And
God.
it's good to have great friends. That's what I say to people. Who do you surround yourself with? Who
Hmm.
do you surround yourself with? We can laugh at this, but for someone to dip their hands into their pocket and give out 1 million, 1.5 million to someone that they know also have it, but it's, only God knows what David might have done for them in the past. What are
Yeah.
friends for? Who do you surround yourself with? I say to people, I don't even know that we were going to be talking about that now.
Okay.
I remember something that I used to teach a while back. These circles, this is a circle, this is what I call circles of relationships. Honestly, I was just doing this random drawing while we were talking before. And right there, if you can see that dot, that is you.
Right in the middle.
That dot in the middle, that's you. You need to check who are those people that are going to be in this circle with you. Those people that can be there with you through thick and thin. Those people, even if they're having sex and somebody report to them to say, something just happened to Lagbaja, those people will stop and will get up and go and do whatever to help. But there are people that somebody, they just, oh, sorry, and they keep doing whatever they're doing. We need to change how we do things. We need to check who are those people in here. There are people that there are some men that they call Turule Jereode. They do and give and just, they're always helping everybody out there, not helping the people that will be there for them when they actually need people. We need to be careful. We need to be careful. So in these circles, there are people that belong in each of these circles. There are people that I can't really tell much to. But when we come together, we talk about politics. We talk about shoes, I saw his shoes. That's all we talk about. But there are some people, when we come together, we talk about growth, personal growth, relationship growth, financial growth. We rub minds together because I am who I surround myself with. There's a saying that check out 5 people that you surround yourself with. If if they are not doing well, it's going to rub off on you. We need to be wary. We need to watch out those people that we surround ourselves with. These guys bringing, I saw so many, comments about this, and I'm like, but people are not looking at it deeply. That's
Yeah,
deeper than what we're saying. For someone to say, Elvis, and you too, Wale, when I had my mom's thing, and we asked for donations. You guys dipped your hand in your pocket and donated. That's what I'm talking about. There are people that they didn't even see what we were talking. They didn't see what we saw, and to them it's nothing. But you saw beyond what that's what relationship is for. Helping each other out, being there for one another. These guys that put their hands into their pocket. When you go deeper and ask questions, what did Davido do to deserve you doing what you've done to him? They will tell you the stories because there's always a story behind a story.
you're absolutely right. Vicky there. Look, even one of my brothers on Facebook is a very funny one. He had a few comical commentary on it. He said probably the guy was high on NSC by the time he even made that post to start with, and I can't, I can't rule that one out.
It's
You know,
true.
if you kind of just have a glimpse of the kind of the lifestyle, some of these boys, the kind of their lifestyle, and probably must have been on something, NSC or whatever he drinks at the time
Mm,
he made this call out to his friends. But the core message is that his friends responded. His friend, he mentioned some of them, some of those names that we all know, Naira Marley, Sultan, and some of these other Patro, and all some of these other guys that we know. But beyond that's just a music star reaching out and raising 160 million naira within 24 hours is a lot in terms of, as you said, people within his circles, the kind of what he has done to them in the past. I would think that there's a strong, kind of at a deeper level, we have to look at what he has done to them. And I'm sure to them is their own little way of showing it with their own little appreciation. And
mm.
I think the most important part of it is that, the bigger picture is around how can our celebrities use that their star power to be able to
Exactly.
better the society. Can you
Mm.
imagine if I don't know his plans and I don't know what his plans are and what he has done in the past? Can you imagine if he did that for his own foundation or for a charity that is
Instead of
very
a car,
of just
say, okay, there are
you know what I
people.
mean?
Mm,
So I don't know his plans and I don't want to preempt anything
mm,
or say something that I don't really know. I don't know the guy more than he's just an artist. He's a young guy enjoying life, having fun. I've seen him to be very respectful with people and just trying to be kind of a do-gooder kind of a person. That is what I'm seeing, but I don't know him more than what I see on social media.
mm.
Power of friends, Elvis. What can you see? When should we raise big money for you, my brother?
Uh, Wale, I think it's about time you started gathering that money. You and Vicky and the rest of my friends are around here. You've said it all. You guys have said it all. It just speaks to, it just goes a very large extent to portrays the fact that your circle of friends really counts. Who do you surround yourself with? Like you 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 don't want to be surrounded by people who are just takers and not um, givers.
Mm,
Obviously, Davido must have touched these people one way or the other positively for them. I mean, this is something that started like a joke.
Yeah.
Like you said, that he might have been on his Hennessy or your favorite drink, Dimple Wally. Could have been one of those drinks, and he made that comment, and people took him on that challenge. I know I read somewhere he said he didn't receive an alert from Otedola. I think he said what was the word he used? Whether it was a bomb or something. So meaning, he received a very large, amount of money from um, Otedola. Wasn't specified, but that those comments alone gave me the impression it must have been, a very substantial amount of money he received from Otedola. So at the end of the day, you see, people who give, I believe in that saying, never lack.
better
The
lads.
hand that always, yeah, the hand that gives is always on top. Like when you're
Mm,
giving out money or whatever to
to
someone,
people.
your hand is on top, and that the more you give, I believe the more you'll be blessed in that balance. And if you don't give, don't expect to get. That's the reality,
Mm,
especially in this part of the world where we are. Money is good, money is important, but I think a lot of us also attach a lot of importance
mm,
to money. I know we work hard for it and stuff like that, but we can't forget who we are, where we come from. We believe in helping friends. We believe in helping extended family. We believe in just extending that help out there. So it's absolutely important. who we are surrounding ourselves with? Are we just surrounding ourselves with takers? Do we also have people who reciprocate good gestures? Now, there is saying in Igbo land that when you give your fellow man something, it just means, oh boy, keep it for me. Now, I'll give you an instance. When
Okay.
my father passed on, yeah, my father passed on in 2016, and I had about three friends who said, "Oh, look, Elvis, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Elvis, look, I'm gonna give you a cow." Three different people. Well, in my mind, I'm just thinking, basically, because their own parents are alive. So
Yeah, when that time comes.
one time came, I wasn't gonna give them a cow. It will be like I'm reciprocating the same thing they gave to me. I
You
needed
have
to
to
do
do
more than a
more,
cow,
of course.
But what they offered to me at that time came in handy, and I appreciated it. And then when the tables turned, of course, naturally, unless for someone who's unreasonable, naturally I was also there for them. So when you give, honestly, when it's time for people to also give, especially as Vicky and Wale mentioned here, you surround yourself with like-minded people, positive-minded people. Of course, you're not you won't be lacking. To be honest, yeah. Uh, I'll leave it
Thank
at
you.
that.
Thank you very much. And we've got Tolu Felicity, our dear Tolu. She wrote, "Change your circle if you are the only rich person among them." According to Dr. Vicky O on Monday, TGA 6-week mentoring program. Thanks, Tolu Felicity. Thanks for being part of the program, and thanks for all the things you do behind the scenes. Um, so any other trending? I've got one that I want to reserve, but I
No,
want to
let's
give.
let's
While,
have this
while
go first. Too. Let's have this go first before.
uh,
Okay, okay. What is
okay,
trending for you,
while
Elvi, before you run away?
yeah, Wale, before I do that, I think we also need to put a disclaimer to that, or put a bit more clarity to that statement. So if you're the only person that is doing well, you're surrounded by um, people who are not as well off as you. Let's just put it, clearly that that is not to say we also, discourage assisting people who
Yeah.
who are
Exactly.
genuinely lacking.
Mm,
Yeah, so
mm, yeah.
that's not the import of that statement. Yes, change your circle
Mm.
of friends if they're not doing well, but we still have the mind to support people who are also not so well to do and
Mm.
desire that genuine assistance. So I just thought I
Oh, no,
should
bro.
mention that one now.
Mm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So what's trending for me, Wale? Uh, the most popular thing around here now is COVID. So, and now we're at the phase where everyone needs to be vaccinated. Vicky, you did mention, forced vaccinations, and that's what we're finding at this particular time. We've had more relaxation of the rules. Now we can go out without our masks. We can do a whole lot of things that we couldn't um, do,
Do before.
prior. We're allowed to have as much people as we will within our homes. It just we're almost back to pre-COVID
Pre-COVID.
times. Exactly, almost there. But the interesting thing is, you used the right word, Vicky, when you said forced vaccinations. It is as much as I appreciate what the government has done over the COVID period. I know it's been hard on a lot of us. It hasn't been easy. You mentioned the fact the opposition party is trying to use, what the government has done wrong, to run them down or to garner votes come the
Mm.
next election. For me, honestly, that it's relative. It just depends on the individual, the way people interpret what Daniel Andros has done. For me, what he's done is to keep our community safe,
Mm-hmm.
and the world applauded, Australia at the start of COVID, the way we handled it before we had those outbreaks in those. Is it the hotels and other places where people were
Yeah.
meant to isolate before we had those issues. Now, the key thing for me here is, he's done the best he can to keep us safe, and that's my perception. That's the way I see it. I do not see any government that will benefit, well, at least not in this case, benefit from locking us down, benefit from having businesses closed down for a lengthy period of time, expending the government's money to ensure, for example, in the property space, ensure there's activity there, offering people as much as $25,000 at a time. It ended recently to, engender activity in the marketplace. And that's really created, a lot of activity there. It created, it had a different level of effect on the economy, judging from where we were coming from. People could buy, builders could build, the what is it called? The artisans could have work to do.
Mm.
So they've really done well. If just to air my views on that side of things. But where I'm going with this is the vaccination side of things is actually, even though they haven't come out to say specifically, we're forcing everyone to get vaccinated. Um, is actually forced vaccination, because with the recent relaxation of rules, I understand you can't go into shops if you're not fully vaxxed.
Yeah.
You can't do shopping. You can't go into restaurants if you don't have your certificate to show that you're fully vaccinated. In Austria as well, if you're not fully vaccinated, they have a situation where um, you can't even go out for, except for, how we used to have, you can't go out except for essential reasons, where you need to get food or offer care. You can't do that. So all I see now is that people are actually being compelled um, to accept that vaccination, whether they like it or not. By the time you get frustrated, you can't do what others are doing. Yeah, you'll be compelled to go accept the vaccination. So all I see here is, the news here for me is people being forced to actually accept these vaccinations, even though the
They've
government is
been
not
they've been they've been,
directly.
they've been encouraged. They've
Oh
been
well, that's,
strongly encouraged to
yeah,
go and take the job
yeah,
for the
more relaxation
community.
of,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's what's trending for
But
me.
there's even a country whereby now they are making unvaccinated people to pay for their health care. So if they get COVID, they've got to pay for it because they've what they said. I can't remember which country. I'm not sure if it's Philippines. One country I can't remember now. They said we offered you free vaccine, you refuse to take it. So if you now get COVID and you use our medical facility, you pay. That's what that country is doing. I can't remember which country.
Yeah.
Um, and I believe that's valid. If you don't believe that there's COVID or that the vaccine is not going to do anything for you, if you now get it, you're on your own.
Absolutely. And I think for public health reasons, I know politics is a tough game, and I
It
know
is.
that Premier, Andrews has been on the receiving side in recent, especially in the last couple of weeks, and most importantly this week with some of the.
But what do you see to the bill? For me, what I see is that um, this happened, this pandemic happened. No one is prepared for it. There is no plan, there is no policy, there is nothing. And what I say to people is that Andrews is not going to be the premier forever and ever. What he's trying to do is to make sure there is something to help guide us in case of another time. But of course, like what we said initially about polarization of information, it's
Yep.
the same thing that is happening. Half of the people yelling and screaming now, they haven't even read the bill, but they are going crazy based on the lies that have been told before and the lies that people are still telling, and they are just
Absolutely.
assuming the worst of the worst. Oh, he's going to assume power to himself. He's going to assume power to himself. Is it going to be the premier forever and ever? No. It's
And
just making sure he's there right now. Let's make sure in case of another time, we have something to help us.
And a lot of them, they are anti-vaxxers. They are people that from day one, they don't even believe in COVID. They don't believe in even the need for vaccination. I would
Mm,
think that many of them have not even received their jabs. So no matter government policies or whatever government is trying to do in this very serious in addressing this serious pandemic,
mm,
they have alternative views on how
exactly.
things should be done.
Exactly.
But the mistake is that they are not the governments. They can
Mm,
have I have a lot of views on a lot of things, but I know my limitations. And people that are in government, that is what they are voted to do, to provide
mm.
leadership, to govern the states. And in some cases, they have to make some very critical decisions,
Decisions,
decisions
yeah.
that are not even, sometimes very difficult for them individually, but they still have to make decisions. That is what leadership is all about.
Mm,
In my opinion, and I want to be, as objective, as neutral as possible, I don't see any power trip going on. I don't see anyone becoming too power drunk and want to just, get us locked up and just do it just for the fun of it. I just think that, as you said, when this happened in February, March 2020, no one prepared for this, and in our history, we will still experience a similar pandemic. It might
exactly.
be 50 years to come, whatever,
It
but there
happened
must
100 years ago.
yeah,
It
there
happened
must be
100 years ago,
yeah.
and now, so it's going to happen again. But in case of next time, what can we do? What can the state do?
Absolutely. I think, look, he has to do what he has to do. That is what is voted to do. And if, Victorians are not happy with that, we've got, election coming up next year. He will get his reward for whether
Exactly.
people are happy with what he has done in his way he has approached this or not.
Mm,
That is the
mm,
beauty of democracy, and that is the beauty of having elections. But
mm.
I think that, in my own way of looking at things, I think he's done the right thing for Victorians. He's made a lot of tough calls and tough
Yeah.
decisions, but I think he made those calls just for the benefit of everyone.
For the
And they've
good of
invested
it.
billions of dollars, as every self, in so
Mm,
many areas just to keep the economy going and
going.
stronger.
Mm.
Moving on, the time we fast spent, my plan is to keep this to an hour. Um,
What?
just the last thing I've got is, the failure of on the part of the Nigerian government, like a place in Zamfara, a place called Kwarin Mai Saje, community, which is in Tsafe local government area of Zamfara. So we are the bandits. They were there. They attacked the community, I think, on Sunday. And it's crazy. They actually attacked that community because the community members failed to pay levy. So the bandits, they've levied them to pay this 3 million naira levy. Maybe it's a
Wow.
monthly levy. Maybe it's monthly or yearly. Um, I'm not sure there was any specification about that in the media report. But they
Mm.
actually attacked them, raped the women, and attacked the
Oh,
community because the community member failed to pay like levy to the bandits, 3 million naira levy. So you kind of think about it. Do we have a government? Do we
exactly.
have a government in place when you have bandits or terrorists? Let's call them what they are. They are terrorists. When we have
Mm.
terrorists actually having that boldness of actually imposing levy in the community and having the audacity to go back to that community and say, you know what, we're going to deal with you because
It
failed
didn't
to,
pay off.
you didn't pay off. So you just think about it. You think about the concept of social contract,
Mm-hmm.
between the government and the people.
And the people.
Like it's a
Mm.
social contract. Okay, we do what we have to do as citizens. We vote for you guys in the election. You want us to pay our taxes. We do what we have
Mm.
to pay. We also to
And then we
be,
have to pay bandits
and we
too.
expect you to, if we fulfill our own side of the bargain of that social contract, we expect you. We're not asking much. Provide us security.
Mm.
Look after us. Let our kids go to school freely. Don't allow bandits, for Christ's sake, to impose a levy on the
Because
community.
a bandit, you know, they have representative, those coming to collect that money. So they, they have names, they have faces. What is stopping the government or the police or the army or whatever to do what they have to do to protect these people? And if it's happening in Zamfara, which is close to the the president's hometown, before you know it, they'll be moving closer and closer. If nothing, if they are not doing anything, so they will be giving these bandits. You know, they are planting themselves all over the place. They'll be
Yeah.
giving each other ideas of how to deal with those small communities and make them to pay up, or else that is like you know what they used to do, these mafias, Italian mafias. That's what they were doing. So we're experiencing the same thing, but we have government that should be there to protect our people. You know, like we always talk about the hierarchy of need. You know, you refuse to provide food for the people. Safety is something that you're not doing. So what are they even doing really? They are putting money into their own pockets. They are doing nothing for the people. And it's time for us to just don't let us go there today.
Anyway, so is can we have our final words?
No, before our final words,
Okay.
um, the ritual at Tsafe,
Okay.
that
That's
one,
something trending as well. Okay.
yeah, it is trending. And it's something that we need to quickly mention. I'm not sure if Elvis heard of it. Um, the poor young man that went to Ife for an exam. He's doing his master's. Is it master's or PhD? Master's. And lodged into this hotel. Egbon is just joining us. We are finding you, Egbon. We've almost finished.
I've been battling with the traffic, battling with the network, battling with everything you can imagine. So I'm really sorry. I just said I must just show my face. It's been a big battle for me to even join at all here today.
Welcome.
You can see, even right now, I'm trying to ensure that I get somewhere comfortable. It's a battle. Sorry, it's a big battle.
All right. It's okay.
Welcome, Egbo.
And welcome. So we're talking
about
yes. Welcome.
Oh my God. Let me show you. Okay, I will try.
We are talking about the young man that was killed in Ife. The ritual. That one is a very sad one. I actually stayed in that hotel a few years back.
You did?
Oh yes, the first, just after the place was built, I stayed there with my husband and my son at that stage.
The entire clan.
Yes, we stayed there. So it's quite sad because I heard that man, that wasn't the first time that it happened in that hotel. People, I've read it somewhere that they said. So when that news first broke, I initially thought, may God help us so that we don't get to be crucified by social media, social media people. But you kept hearing all sorts from different people that have been following this man that know him to be power hungry. And they are all saying the same thing, that this isn't his first time. This isn't the first time that somebody will lodge into that place and die. What are your thoughts about that, Egbo?
let me first say that, just like many others, when the news hit me, I felt very, very sad. And I mean very, very sad. It's a very low point in our history. It is not the first time I won't be hearing of such things, I must confess. However, this was really home. It was really home for me. A young man that is struggling to make something out of his life. And I decided to go for an MBA exam. Only God knows what he went through to put the money for lodgement and all that together. Only God knows what he went through in maybe sorting his family out before traveling out to Ife. And now, for him to have paid for an accommodation, only to turn out like he's paid for his grave, and a very undignified one for that matter. Is very sad. Now, yes, there's a general talk about innocent being assumed innocent till the court says otherwise. Yep. Yes, we will wait for the courts. We will wait for the police to finish their investigations. But we are going to keep this in the front burner. We're going to keep it in the front burner because from reports, for starters, the guy's body was found somewhere within the premises of the hotel. Whoa. Yes, it was exhumed from there. And thank God that two things happened. That he called his wife on getting to the place and reported the situation to her. That is one good thing about it, because stories would probably have been different. Exactly. Will probably have been declared not seen for status. Secondly, that he paid money into an account that was traced to the receptionist. That is another thing there. Now it's left to the accused people to say some things otherwise. Of course, there will be the legal tango and all that. We will be watching closely. To me, it's time up for this set of ritualists. I've also had stories about the same place, but this at least has some seemingly concrete evidences against whoever is accused. Now, if, and I'm saying if, the man in question is eventually found guilty, then I shudder to think of what could happen to thousands of our children who are students of the university owned by the same man. Exactly. Right? But just as I said, we'll wait till is adjudged innocent or guilty. But that this has even happened in the first instance puts a lot of question mark on even the system we operate. Yes, it is not written on the forehead that this particular person or so is a ritualist. Agreed. But I would think that some basic underground digging into characters of people who are given the privilege of putting together institutions that will train our children. I would expect that some very basic things could have been done. More so that there have been insinuations that this will not be the first one around there. There's a university, there's a polytechnic. These are our children. These are our children. And then the world is watching us. It's like we are in the 14th century or something like that. That's the way I see it. So we are not hanging anybody yet. We are not judging yet. We are not saying anybody is guilty. Even on this program, we are not saying so. But we are saying that this is sad, and I mean very sad. And even in developed world, when people are accused of some dastardly acts, the generality of the public still point to the fact that yes, it should be proved until the person is it should be with the word still is proven guilty. But then you have reservations. You have reservations about characters. You have. If you do not want to feel the heat, don't go to the kitchen.
Exactly.
Don't go to the kitchen.
And my thought actually is, if it sounds like a duck and it looks like a duck, it's likely.
Well, yes, most likely. Most likely. But we will wait. We will wait. The most important thing is that it must not be swept under the carpet.
Exactly. Because
and some extraneous things should not be brought into this case. Some extraneous things could not be called, because just as I responded to somebody on Facebook today, it has to be kept on the front burner, because I want to bad deal. One son lori gon. One son lori gon. They are not really normal people. So you need to be up and doing. You need to keep a watch, kind of watchdog on issues, on certain issues, or else they know that we shout, we scream, we get tired, and we move on. But thank God for platforms like this. Once in a while, we raise it. We'll look if there are updates. We'll still talk about this, and we will keep this on until the final thing. On various platforms.
The ritual part of it is something that I think we need to explore, and there is, to me, there's a correlation between, how. This is where I would like to bring my daughter, my youngest daughter, onto the show one of these days. And I would like her to talk from, she did a whole year of investigative study about how, what we watch on the film, how it tends to change our mindset. Yes. She actually picked some movies that was done in the 1950s, and she chose 3 movies. So I would like her to. I would like her to come onto the show. And Egbon, it has to be one show that you've got to attend from the beginning, because there is something here. People watch all these movies, they absorb it. There are some people that cannot, they cannot differentiate between reality and just a movie. So almost all Nigerian Yoruba movie, you see them going to Babalawo asking for, how can I make it rich quickly? Even though there's always the ending, but before it gets to the ending, so much destructions have been done. So it's something that I think we need to explore, Wale and Egbon. This is something that I mean, 3 hours, myself and my daughter, we were talking about this, and I'm like, you've got to come to the show, because we need to see what we're doing to ourselves. The 3 movies that she showed, she actually did investigative studies on and presented. It was as if she actually wrote a thesis. That's for her year 12. She talked about how, African Americans were being portrayed as bad people, as drug dealers, as and it's in that movie. And then in reality, the police looks at them. As soon as they look at them, they think about, oh, you know what they can do? They all have guns. We've got to quickly do this to them, because they can do whatever. So everything, because the visual is so important. By the time you see and you put it in here, it kind of make you do things that you're not really, thinking of. I'm not sure if I'm getting my point across, Egmont, but it's
Yes,
something that I
yes, Doc. Doc, you are getting your point across. I'm going to withhold my own reactions to all this until we have the proper program, so that I do not preempt some things.
okay.
I will just,
Yeah,
I'll be looking forward to it. I'll be looking forward to the discussion.
all
I
right.
will be.
We'll work it
But
out, and
really, it's a very sad development. Seriously,
it is,
a very sad one.
it is,
It's a
and
very sad one.
it's so common. I mean, why is it that the kidnappers will not kidnap when they don't get ransom? They start piecing, cutting people and selling their parts to babalawos for the rich people that are chasing them for one part or the other. How many eyes do you need? We have 4 here. How many noses do you need? How many breasts? And they just start, so something needs to be done. What do government need to have in place? Who do we need to if I'm not ready to take whatever you're stealing, I'm not gonna take it and start using it or start selling it. You won't have markets now. So what should they do to babalawos that they found to be ritualists? They found to be the one taking all these parts and using it to make magic for them. There's something that needs to be done. They can't just, it cannot continue like this. We cannot.
Well, one we should be, we are lucky in this, a bit in this case, that the lady receptionist cracked under little pressure.
Praise God.
And started singing like a canary. We'll keep a close tab on this. We'll keep a close tab on this. Because that guy must not die in vain. He must not.
Absolutely. He's a 37-year-old man, chartered accountant, pursuing his MBA at OAU. He's a father of 3. He's got his wife. I listened to his older brother, who spoke to one of these online on Facebook kind of presentation. I saw that very touching interview. The whole thing looks to me, what I call a criminal enterprise. The whole thing looks like, and it fits within my area of study of environmental criminology, which is that this is like a business. They have their modus operandi, the way they do it. Do. Up to doctoring the guest list. So the guy was actually logging. He was number 1 on the original list, based on some of the things I gathered. By the time the police went back, they've doctored the guest list. The guy's name had disappeared from the list. They've got another list that you couldn't even trace that guy to that hotel in the first place. So it's a well set up criminal enterprise. But that girl that cracked under investigation, she had a different record that showed that that guy was a guest, number 1 on the list, and it was in room 305. But by the time the police got there, that original guest list already disappeared. So these are guys that they knew what they were doing from day one. The criminal enterprise is taking advantage of people, the well set up criminals, and having network of people, involved in that, But as Egmont said, we still want to respect the rule of law, and we still want to, respect the fact that there's a presumption of innocence until proven guilty. But there are a lot of things around here that we need to keep on talking about this, just to in a way that this man, how many people have died like this in that same mysterious circumstance?
Unsung.
If not because the wife was up and doing, checking. I mean, thank God for the woman that will, always on the phone to her husband. That, okay, are you okay? Have you? If not, if it's a single man or a man that doesn't care about, the home, that man would have died, and it would have been like 3 weeks. Where has he been? Where has he been? So many like that. So many like
they probably actually they would have joined the search party. They would have joined the search party. But one thing they keep forgetting is that there is no perfect crime. there is no perfect crime. If you do it and you get away with it, well, maybe a bit of luck on your side, but there is the likelihood, there is a likelihood of you being caught.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
There is the likelihood of you being caught. And we just hope we get to the end of this.
To the root of it, yeah. I pray they won't shift the blame because of money. Now you know how money can.
Let's watch. Let's watch. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay, so because of time and because we really running out of time, I would just like to go through, through the panelists just to get our final words, for tonight. I'm sorry, Egbon, you joined us late.
Yes, sir. My apologies.
Yeah, so thanks for making all the efforts, and we really appreciate you making the effort. So I'll go around the group now. I'll start with Elvis. Your final words. Elvis.
Okay. Yeah. What? Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yes, Elvis.
Okay. It appears I'm the only one who is in the dark about this incident. Honestly, I'm hearing this for the first time.
Okay.
But look, if I'll probably make that topic my last words as well. So if you're out there thinking you're going to make money by taking body parts or exterminating somebody's life, then you need your head honestly examined by a psychiatrist. The first question to ask is, the Babalawo who is doing this ritual for you or asking you to go bring body parts, do you think he's averse to being a billionaire? Where does he live? What car does he drive? How does he come out? How does he dress? So you go into a ramshackle joint of a Babalawo's what is it called? What do you call their thing? Shrine. And then you think that man is going to make you become rich? Honestly, you need to wake up and smell the coffee. You just you only need to indulge in hard work. Go study if you have the opportunity. Start a small trade. Perhaps God could bless your hustle, and then you become someone to reckon with in the society. Like a lot of stories we have read, and we all can be millionaires. So if you're going about thinking you're going to become rich by killing someone, honestly, the devil is going to chastise you for the rest of your life. Those are my final words.
Thanks so much. Very deep one there from Elvis. Egbo?
I'll just add one or two things to what Elvis just said, because it's not just the Babalawo. You should ask, where are the Babalawo's children? Where are they? What is their status in life before you jump into this? However, I must say that this has happened, yes, but there are strong indications that a number of our political class believe in such rubbish. A number of them, they believe until they go through a Babalawo and all that, they cannot win their elections, they cannot sustain their office, you
remember a few years ago, one APC member in Ilesha area, who somebody took his video, it wasn't even picture, video of him naked, and the Babalawo was bathing him with blood all over him.
Most of them do these things. Some of them, let me put it there. Yeah. Some of them do all this. They believe in all this. And the Babalawos make money out of them. Not just that, there are political associates that set them up to do such rubbish and probably go behind to share money with the Babalawos. And foolishly, they believe these things will happen. Unfortunately, when these things fail, they do not have the guts to go back to the Babalawo to challenge him or ask for refund. It is a very messy thing. And until we change our ways, until we change our psyche, by the way, we do not have enough number of psychiatrists in this country. We need a lot more.
I like that.
Thank you, Egwo. The best psychiatrists, they've left the country to practice their trade somewhere else.
Sorry, that went up. That's why we honestly need more psychiatrists. Just so I'll probably just leave it at that. But we really must keep this issue on the front burner. It's not the first one. It's not the first one. But now that this is probably one of the fastest, one of such cases where the police have gone fastest, closest to the clue in such a short time. In such a very short time. So that actually makes it important for us to even assist the police in ensuring that the job is properly done until it goes to court, and then we await the court's judgment.
Thank you very much.
Diligent prosecution is the word. Diligent prosecution.
Diligent
not all these. The IPO has been transferred, and another IPO is taking over, and then the next IPO has been promoted. Another IPO, that is where we lose prosecution, we lose cases. I hope it doesn't happen that way.
And so, Nigerian police, we are not here. We do a lot of talk here, and sometimes we criticize when things are not done properly. But on this case, based on what we've gathered, you pursued your work diligently. You've made arrests. And, I'm just following what Egwa said, that we want to encourage you to continue with that diligence in making sure that at least most of these unresolved murders and, unresolved killings, you have to make example of people. And doesn't matter how highly placed they are in the society. There must be a general and specific deterrence that you shouldn't take other people's lives for whatever reason, for whatever is missing in your life and you're trying to achieve. It is absolutely abnormal to go to the step of taking the life of a 37-year-old man with his own family and kids and aspiration. So the Nigerian police, thank you very much, but you still have a lot to do in this case. We continue watching and we continue to report as we get information. Thank you, and I'll hand over to Dr. Vicky to wrap up the show for tonight.
Yes, it's another great time we've had together, another therapeutic session that we've had. And yes, there were some sad trending issues that we talked about. And yes, there were some great ones. But all in all, we come together again, and we've had this wonderful show here. And to all our viewers, we say thank you. We appreciate you. There were some people on Facebook Live that were watching us, and there were some comments on there. Yeah. Yeah, but we thank you. We appreciate you. And all our panelists, Wale Olaitan, thank you. Elvis, thank you. And Egmont, we thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll be back again next Saturday with another topic. But until then, you all stay safe and take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
It's LC the beat guy.